so would.
Right, Maria. Let's go have a little chat about your last lesson.
Okay.
Can you remember the Parnell Park?
Yes.
Yeah, so... Do you remember I said to you I had some practice with my wife?
Yeah.
Yeah? And how did you get on? And I replied, I said, she told me I was a nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now I did actually speak to you about it afterwards. I came out of roll and spoke to you about it. Is that you can't really control what your pupil is going to say.
No.
But do you want to encourage it, especially if it's going down the route of...
Laughing.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with your own pupils?
We try to ignore it. Or just sort of...
Do you actually do that with your own pupils?
I think on the whole I do, but then I haven't really said anybody that had anyone that's told me that they were nuts.
Yeah, I mean, we have to be really careful as driving instructors
Yeah.
of how we address our students.
Yeah.
They could be a doctor,
Yeah.
they could be a sir. So you should always find out what they're like to be called. Because on the day of your standards check, you're going to have to introduce your pupil to the examiner.
Yeah.
That makes sense? So, if your pupil comes out with something like I did there,
Yes.
and that was, I came out with it on purpose, because I know that kind of thing can happen,
Yeah.
just kind of ignore
Calm
it.
it down.
Well,
Okay.
ignore it.
Okay.
Ignore it, so you're not getting too involved.
Okay.
If it's just a laugh and a joke between the two of you, it's fine, yeah?
Yeah.
But I think you know what the nuts means, yeah? Without going, let's not say it on camera, yeah?
Well, I thought it was squirrel collecting them for the winter.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure you did, yeah. Yeah, so I did actually tell you about that at the time. I came out of roll and
Yeah.
told you.
Yeah.
But you carried it on all the way through the lesson,
Okay.
yeah?
Yep.
Anyway, then we got to the area where we were doing the Parnell Park. And you done really well with nearly all of the faults.
Yep.
You weren't quite sure about the fighting the brake and the clutch,
No.
and you weren't quite sure about coasting on a manoeuvre.
Yep. That's right.
Are you-
I remember that.
Do you fully understand that now?
I do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
The reason why coasting is dangerous in general driving is that we're approaching something like a junction, and if the clutch is down or the vehicle's in neutral, well then we're losing the engine braking, but we don't need engine braking when the car is going at all man's walking pace, yeah?
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was on the last Parnell Park I done.
Yeah.
You said to me, how much help do you want?
Oh.
And I said, I'll do it my own.
I know, and I bet I know what I did.
Well, I did actually do it spot on, yeah.
Yes.
And I was nearly finished, and then you said, "What's your speed?"
Oh, I know. I can't help myself.
So you made this contract.
Yes.
Yeah, you have got a get out clause, haven't you?
Yeah.
What's your get out clause?
Well, that you ask them to, you take the wheel, you ask them to stop, or you do your pedals.
Yeah. So you always, if they say I'd like to try on my own, you always put your get out clause in, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah?
unless they're doing something dangerous, you don't interfere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let them finish. But we had made a contract there, and I was spot on, wasn't I?
Yes.
My speed was spot on. It was an old man's walking past the two broken legs, wasn't it?
I can't help myself, can I?
Yeah, you're going to have to, though.
I
yeah?
know. I've got
Yeah?
to. I've got to let you finish it and then say if it was wrong afterwards.
I gave you a copy of the the new marking sheet for the new test, didn't I?
Yeah.
Have you had a look at it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Not sure I fully understand it, but yes.
Sorry?
Not sure I fully understand it, but yes.
Have you printed off a copy?
No, I've only got that copy so far.
Right, so you print off a copy and I'll run through it with you, yeah?
Yep, okay.
But one of the categories you marked on there was the trainer and the pupil fully aware at all times of what their responsibilities were, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yep.
So we have to be careful of that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and just one other thing. I mean, the lesson was good. And, you know, as an instructor, you're doing brilliantly. I think you've had, what, 6 tests now?
7.
7.
Tests.
And I think you've had some fantastic passes, haven't you?
Yeah.
And they're not being other people as instructors, they've been pupils that you took on from scratch.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's absolutely excellent. So, but we just try and get a bit of structure to it, so you know how to carry out a lesson. You know, I'm not saying sit there and be stern, but you have to watch your behaviour.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one occasion where you done a bit of touchy-feely. Yeah?
Yes.
Well, obviously you understand why
And you
that.
told me off.
Yeah. Well, it's not a matter of telling you off, it's a matter of pointing you in the right direction.
I
isn't
know,
it?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were, on the way to the Parnell Park, I came to a junction where I was emerging left. I think I had a silver BMW behind me.
Right.
And well spotted, because I stopped in 3rd gear.
Yeah, you did.
And you said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to look. I'm looking. And then you said, what about your gear? And, you know, 10 out of 10 for spotting it, and 10 out of 10 for saying to me afterwards, you know, what could have happened if you pulled away in 3rd gear. And I gave you the right answer. I'd probably stall.
Yeah.
Stall. But then we did have that silver car behind us, so you could have maybe taken that a little bit further.
I know.
Have you any idea where you could have taken it?
I could have said, what are the dangers of stalling with a car behind you?
Yeah. He's not expecting me to stall, is he?
No, he's not expecting you to stall.
Even though there's a box on the top. He's not expecting it, is he?
No.
So we could well run in the back of us, yeah? So any questions there?
No, I think that's covered most of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just to give you guidelines, just to...
And obviously, and there was a thing about indications as well, isn't there? So, like now, if we're pulling away, there's...
Well, we don't need to go there.
Do we
Because,
not need to do there? We can do something else.
Yeah, because that didn't
come up in it.
But that didn't come up in our lesson, did it?
No. Okay.
I was pulling across.
Yep.
They had to stop on the right.
Yep.
I did check all around me. There was nobody ahead of me. There was nobody behind me. There was no pedestrians around. There was nobody in a parked car. I didn't indicate. And you were quite right not to mention that. So that didn't come up on the lesson. That came up on Facebook, didn't it?
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah.
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 So that's not a worry to us.
Okay. Good.
You take what you see on Facebook with a pinch of salt, yeah?
Yep.
So is there anything in particular you'd like to do today?
I don't think so. I think it's just cover all the things to sort of get rid of all my little faults, really. And you know what all my little faults are.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-dah.
So, I noticed the majority of things now, but it's little things that I miss. And
Yeah,
like that for the interruption. So I do have a thing about that when I'm obviously teaching them, and then I do get to the stage about how much help do you want from me, and they say I want to give it a go on my own. It's almost as if when they start to do it and I start twitching because it misses this, and I just got to try and not help.
Is that the mothering side coming out?
Yes. That's instantly go to help them, and I've got to stop doing that.
I asked you earlier on. Did you get a chance to watch the 2 videos back?
And I did own up and said.
And you said no. When you're watching back, if you watch my drive to the area to the Parnell Park,
yeah.
I think it might have been this right-hand turn here. Actually, it was a right-hand turn anyway. I came around, and if you look at it very closely, you'll see the wheel spinning between my hands.
Yeah.
Is that safe?
No, it's not safe at all.
What's the danger of that?
The car goes out of control if it hits any form of stone or rivet or anything in the ground, any hole, and you have no control.
Yeah.
So I do have a pupil that keeps doing that all the time, and I spend my whole life saying, don't let the wheel spin through your fingers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't spot it, but I just thought I'd point it out, and I forgot to mention that.
So if it is done, so with the wheel spin through the fingers, I have got someone that just keeps doing it all the time. They've got better, but are they still allowed to do it in a test if they reduce the speed of the spin and they control that spin through the fingers, or not? Is it just a total no-no?
I'll be honest, I'll have to ask either Ian or Faisal how that would be marked, because I've got a funny feeling if they didn't lose control, then it could only be marked as a driver fault. But like you told me the other day, I will get back to you on that one, because I'm not going to give you the wrong answer.
So you don't give the notes blah.
Yeah. So I will actually ask either Faisal or Ian.
Okay.
What the answer is, but I would say, providing they didn't lose control, it would be marked as a driver fault.
Okay, because up to now I've been just trying to stop them altogether.
But if it leads to loss of control, then obviously it's going to be a serious.
Okay.
Or it could even be dangerous if the examiner has to jump in and interfere. Yeah?
Okay.
So should we have a look at approaching junctions?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look upon me as somebody I've had all my lessons with you, and I've got a test coming up in about 3 weeks' time, so should be really putting the finishing touches to it, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just everything in general.
Yeah. So we've done a bit last week, didn't we? On approaching.
Yeah.
So what do you want to ask me?
So how much help do you want from me today, Tony?
I'll have a go on my own.
Okay.
I know I missed a few mirrors last week.
Yeah.
But I think I've sorted it out now.
Okay.
I'm using that kind of 1, 2, 3 system.
Good.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll have a go on my own.
Okay, so have a go on your own.
Yeah.
And then, and who's responsible for everything in the car, Tony?
I am.
And outside the car?
I am.
Okay, so if we say that you'll have a go on your own, if I feel that anything that you don't respond to a situation for safety reasons, I will take the wheel, tell you to stop, or potentially press the brake pedals. Do you understand that? Is that okay?
All right.
So if we have to do that, obviously we will discuss it afterwards.
All right.
Okay?
Yep.
All right then.
Yep.
So I know, out of roll for a minute, I know that you've just said that you'll try it on your own. If, for example, like the junction that you stopped in third gear, do I just let you pull away in third and stall and talk about it afterwards, pull over, or do I interrupt at the time? Because I'm supposed to be letting you do it on your own, aren't I?
Well, let me chuck that question back at you. What do you think you should do?
I should just let you learn from your mistake and stall, if it's safe to do so.
Quite a busy road, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been safe for you to stall there.
What was behind me?
A BMW.
So that'd be definitely...
So I was right to interrupt.
Without doubt, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can interrupt even though you said you want to try it on your own.
Yeah, I was pulling out into a busy road. I wouldn't really want to be stalling there, would I?
No, because you've got a car behind and the car's approaching you.
And the car behind, I certainly wouldn't want to be stalling there. And you didn't over-instruct, really.
So I can just say, I want to stop you there, what would happen, blah, blah, blah. So there's my interaction with the safety.
Yeah, you didn't actually turn around and say you were in third gear, did you?
No, I wanted you to see for yourself.
Yeah, you said, I think you said something like, what about your gear?
Or what gear should you be in? Something like that.
Yeah, what's an easy way of solving that problem, stopping that happening again?
They've got to reduce to a walking pace, which is down into first gear as they approach the junction.
Yeah, rolling first, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah? And that way, if I don't do a rolling first, you've got a better chance of being proactive, because you know then that
You're in the wrong gear.
That I haven't realised I'm probably in the wrong gear.
Yeah.
Yeah? Makes sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Right, so we're going to roll?
Yep.
And we're going to turn left.
I'm going to turn left, Tony. Take the next left. So, Tony, when you're going along, what should you check first? What's the order in which you check? Remember the numbers that we said to make sure we get the correct
When I'm
order?
going along?
Yeah, so when you want to turn left,
Yeah.
I'll let you get round this first. What are you supposed to say for the mirrors work? 1, 2, 3. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I did.
So didn't you do 1, 3, 2?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, which one is number 2?
Sorry?
Which one is supposed to be number 2? So get round the bend first, Tony. So do you want to pull up on the left just for a minute here, Tony, please? And stop. Okay. So Tony, just say to me, what are the order of the mirrors checking? So what should you do when you want to turn left? What are we supposed to
Oh,
check
I've done them in the right
first?
order. Inside out.
Inside out, yeah,
Yeah.
but you did inside indicator out. So you went 1, 2, 3. Which one is supposed to be number 2?
Yeah, I'm just killing two birds with one stone.
But what's that going to gain by killing 2 birds with 1 stone?
Well, I'm doing that mirror. Work on my hand down here. Go to that mirror.
Yeah,
Get the
but
job done.
it might get the job done, but why should you check the door mirror before you put your indicator on? What's the benefits of checking the door mirror first?
Just out of roll. Just rephrase that question.
Okay, so
If you,
Tony, why do you need to check the central mirror before you indicate?
Distance and speed.
Distance and speed.
Yeah.
So why do you need to check the door mirror as well before you indicate?
Oh, Bob.
Bob.
Buy on bike.
Bob on his bike, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So what's going to happen
Not
to Bob on his bike?
Buy on his bike.
What's going to happen to him if you indicate before you've checked to see if he's there? How's that going to make him feel?
Oh, you mean if he's already started to come down the inside of me?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody done that to me once on my bike.
And
I
how
got
did that
really
make you
frightened.
feel? Exactly. So by you putting the indicator on first and not checking to see if he's there, you may frighten that pedestrian or that cyclist
Oh,
to think
right.
you're going to move over and turn.
Oh, I get you.
So what's the order of the mirrors again? What should it be?
Middle.
1,
2,
2,
and then the indicator.
and then the indicator. Okay.
Yeah.
Well done, Tony. So should we give that another go?
Yeah.
Okay. Stop there. So, what are you supposed to do with your observation? What's the one that's that one?
That one. That one.
Yeah.
Oh,
and what about
blind
the
spot.
blind spot? Good. Well done, Tony.
God, shoot myself the other day.
What's the importance of that blind spot?
It's not covered by the mirror.
It's not covered. by
And we're
the
going to
mirror.
turn right.
I'm going to turn right at the end. 1. Okay, Tony, there's no one behind us. I just
Yeah.
want you to wait at the junction here for a minute. So,
I done 1, 2, 3 at a time.
you did do 1, 2, 3, but do you think you did it early enough? So at what stage did you let someone know that you were going to turn right?
Try to get past our park car, didn't I?
So you were more or less on the exit to the junction, weren't you, when the indicator went on? Do you think that's the right time to put your indicator on?
I think if I'd have put it on the earlier, I knew I had to come back to the left. I think it would have cancelled.
Well, does that matter if it cancelled? You could put it back on again, couldn't you?
Yeah, I knew there was nobody there though.
You knew there was no one there?
Yeah.
So is that still okay to indicate that late?
Well, on that occasion it was. Do a nice open junction, nice early view.
So I suppose there's no one to benefit, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want to have to put it on and then let it cancel and then put it on again.
Why? What?
Hard work, isn't it?
Does that matter?
Sorry?
Does that matter?
I'll try to do it your way next time.
Okay, try it a little bit earlier. That'd be
Yeah.
nice.
lesson parked up to those.
Okay, maybe not. Yeah.
You're trying to save fuel.
No, don't be silly.
Pull it down the gap there.
You could pull into that little gap there. It's exactly what it's for. Well done. Okay, so when you were turning right there, Tony,
Yeah.
what do you feel it felt like? So you did good mirrors, good indication.
Yeah.
What about as you turned? What would be a sensible speed to go around that corner when you turned?
I thought the speed was about right.
Did you?
Yeah.
So do you not feel it was a tad fast? So what would be a good speed? So do you feel that you went round that speed at the walking pace?
I could see well into the road.
You can see but what was at the opening of the road? What did you feel as soon as you came into the road? What were there?
Well, I saw cars parked down the road.
Cars parked down the road. So would it not have been a better way to turn into the road in first gear, slightly slower pace? You could be in more control.
I felt that was all right because I was able to chop a bit of the corner off.
Yeah, but what's the dangers of chopping a bit of the corner off, Tony?
Oh, you have noticed that I've got the corner over.
Yeah, because of the speed. So why do you think that happened? So let's discuss why the cutting of the corner happened to start with before we say the dangers.
Well, I could see it was safe.
So is it ever safe to cut the corners? So supposing the car that was parked on the right hand side, what could be the dangers of you cutting that corner with that car parked on the right hand side?
Well, if there's anybody in it, it could move away, I suppose.
It could move away, and then what are the dangers of you cutting the corner by them if they decided to move away?
Well, I suppose he's a bit short-sighted. He wouldn't see me and hit me.
He'd hit you, wouldn't he? Exactly. So if you reduce your speed coming around that corner, how would that have benefited you?
But I was able to take it a bit quicker because I cut the corner.
Pardon?
I was able to take the corner a little bit quicker by...
Yeah, but you've just told me what the dangers are of cutting that corner. So by you taking it quicker, you were forced to cut the corner to keep the control. So if you'd have taken the junction slower, how would you have benefited from that?
Just come out right in there.
Am I confusing you, aren't I?
You are a bit, yeah. What was the fault?
Going round in second gear and cutting the corner.
I think cutting the corner was the fault, yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. I didn't see a lot wrong with the speed.
Okay. But if you were reduced speed and down into first gear, one, you wouldn't have had to cut the corner, and two, you'd be more aware of obstructions you've got.
Well, we're still at a roll. You're going to have to find out if that's the reason why I cut the corner, isn't it?
Yeah. So cutting the corner is two things. One for speed, two for turning too early. And you turn too early if you approach it a little bit quick to get round.
Could I try it again?
You could try again, yes. So would you like to try it again, Tony?
Yeah.
And what are you going to do this time if you try it again?
Probably the same.
Why was that? Why would you do the same? So we've just...
Because I don't know any different.
Well, we've just said that it was dangerous to cut the corner. So if we try the turn again, are you going to cut the corner again, or are you going to do it differently this time?
I'll do it differently.
So what are you going to do this time that's different?
I'll turn later.
You'll turn later?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So should we give that a go then? Well done.
What was?
The observations.
Oh, right.
Well done.
Well done for cutting corners.
No. For your pom. So at the end, Tony, I'd like you to turn right. Well done. That was much better, wasn't it?
Oh, it didn't cancel.
Didn't cancel, did it? No.
I'm not always right. It did, look.
Hey, it did there.
And turning right.
So take the next turn right, Tony. Good mirrors, well done. Much better, well done.
Oh, that's better, isn't it?
Well, do you think that's better? So what do you think was different about it that time?
I steered later.
You did steer later, but then what did that create?
Sorry?
So was that at the right time later, or was that a little bit too late? What was the difference? What would be the difference? So if you turn, let's cut this down. So if you pull over and stop on the left again, Tony.
Again. You got nearly 3/4 of a tank of petrol here.
So if you turn too early, we've established that it will cut the corner. What are the dangers of turning too late?
I felt that was hard work.
It was hard work.
Yeah.
It was. Why was
Yeah.
it hard work?
Sorry?
And why was it hard work?
I felt my way was a lot easier.
Your way was easy.
Yeah.
Well, when you turned too late, you had to turn really fast, didn't you, to get back round into the turning?
I'm knackered now.
So, what are the dangers of turning too late?
I had to steer really fast.
You had to steer really fast. And why did you have to
I
steer
thought I
really
was
fast?
I was zigzagging.
You were zigzagging. And why did you have to steer really fast? What were you trying to avoid?
Well, you said to me, what am I going to do differently? I said steer later.
So, yeah, but there's a difference between early and late. So that was probably a tad too late. So, and what were the dangers of turning too late?
I thought I was going to go up on the pavement.
So how exactly you thought you were going to go up on the pavement, which is why you had to steer really fast to avoid mounting the pavement, didn't you? What are the dangers of mounting the pavement?
Probably damage your alloys or could even kill a pedestrian.
It's the pedestrian. That's the primary importance, is the pedestrians. Exactly. So it's very dangerous to mount the curb at any time, pavement at any time. So that's something that you have to avoid at all times. So how are you going to know when it's the right time to turn?
I thought I did until about 15 minutes ago.
So, yeah, well, it's a tight turn though, isn't it? That road's a particularly tight turn. So,
shall I just keep going around until I eventually guess it and get it right?
no, I'd like you to know where it is the point that you need to turn to get it right first time.
I thought I knew.
So, and what's your reference point for when you turn? Do you have a reference point?
Experience.
That's not a reference point, is it?
169 lessons I've had with you now.
You must be able to remember your reference point, Tony. What's your reference point to turn? How do you know when it's the right time to turn?
I just know from experience now.
So what about your right door mirror? How does that help you for when to turn?
No, that was yonks ago, wasn't it?
It was yonks
line
ago.
It up
So you line it
roughly
up.
the middle of the road or something.
Exactly. So once your door mirror is in line with the middle of the road you're going to turn into, that's your time to turn. So if you leave it too late, the dangers are,
I'll end up probably going on the pavement.
and if you do it too early, you're going to do what?
And they're cutting the corner.
So, should we try it again this time and try and do it in the correct place?
Yeah.
Okay?
What?
So what help do you want from me, Tony?
I wouldn't mind you actually showing me the point to turn again.
So should we do that? Okay.
Yeah. I'm having a brain freeze on that one.
So we'll
yeah?
prompt you.
And I'm getting a bit bored going around the same block all the time.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah?
Okay, yep. Turn right here, Tony.
Did I forget my central mirror?
Good.
Did I?
On one of the occasions you did, yes. So when we come up to look in the direction you're going, Tony. So don't forget your hands will go where your eyes can see. So when we come up to we're going to turn right here. So I want you to approach it at that nice walking pace. And I want you to stop in the area that's safe to do so when you think the right hand door mirror is in line with the centre of the road. There's your point to turn. Okay, does that make more sense now?
Yeah.
So if you're approaching too fast, it's not easy to find that line up, is it? So that's why we approach things at that nice walking pace. So what gear do you need to turn into the road now, Tony? Well done. Quick check over. So where should you check quickly before you turn? Look in the direction you're going, Tony. So why is it important to look in the direction that you're going?
You might end up somewhere else.
Yeah, your hands follow, don't they, where your eyes can see. So if you look to the left and you're turning right, where's your car going to start going?
anywhere, couldn't it?
Exactly, it could go anywhere. So once you've made the commitment to turn, you look in the direction in which you want to go.
Oh, I remember a pedestrian crossed the road in front of me once, didn't it?
Yes, exactly. So how would you know they're there if you're not looking?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
Till you scream at me.
Oh, I don't scream.
You know.
Not very often.
And turning left.
And we're going to turn left at the end, Tony. That's much better mirrors, well done. And better indication timing. That's better, well done. Whee!
Sorry.
So what do you think caused that, Tony?
I didn't steer quick enough.
You didn't steer quick enough. Do you think it might have been a case of
Turning left.
going too fast? Would you like to turn left at the end?
Was I gone too fast?
Maybe. So, Tony, right, can we pull over and stop in a safe place here, please? Once we get past this van. Okay, well done.
Was I gone too fast again?
Good. Well, it wasn't a case of going too fast. When you turn the corner, Tony, so what gear did you start in as you turned the corner?
First
Gear. And then, so as you're turning, do you really need to be changing into second gear while you're still turning the corner?
I didn't know I was.
So as you're turning, you're steering, you suddenly change to second gear, which meant you're oversteered and towards the curb because you're too busy worrying about your gear change. So what are the dangers of that?
I thought I was going to end up on the pavement.
You thought you were going to end up on the pavement, exactly. So what should you do when you turn? When should you be changing into second gear?
After I turned.
After you've turned and the car is straight.
I think I'm picking these bad habits up and watching my wife.
So maybe you should stop watching your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, and concentrate what you're doing. So as you turn the corner, what should you do before you change gear?
Get straight.
Get the car straight and steady, and then think about changing gear, okay?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Stop, Tony. It's that blind spot, isn't it?
And turning left.
So we'll take the next left. That's much better, isn't it?
I didn't have to change gear there.
You didn't have to change gear, but the steering and all was much better as well.
Turning left.
So now we'll take the next left. Turning.
Rear.
Nothing.
I could have come through here a lot quicker, couldn't I?
Why?
Sorry?
Why could you come along a lot quicker?
I was just waiting for you to say you got too slow, Tony.
I didn't think you were going too slow. What would be the dangers of coming through there quickly?
You mean I done it well?
You did extremely well, Tony. Sorry. Yes, you did do it very well.
All right.
What would be the dangers of coming through there quicker?
Be mad. I could have met that car right in the middle of the junction.
You could have
and
met the
turning
car.
right.
Turn right at the end. That was excellent. Wait.
Sorry.
So you did it again, didn't you, Tony? So pull over on the left for a minute, please. Yep. So Tony, you did the road really, really well.
Yeah.
Good judgment of
Yeah.
speed with all those obstructions, with all those parked vehicles. And then you turn right again. And what do you feel that you did? What did you do when you turned right?
Try to change bloody gear while I was steering.
You tried to change gear again when you were steering, didn't you?
I'm trying to multitask, didn't I?
So you try to multitask. So when you turn, what are the dangers of doing that?
I nearly ended up on the other side of the road, didn't I?
You did, and nearly ended up in that van, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, what are you going to do next time?
Don't have to beg for help.
You don't have to beg for help. Okay, so when you turn right, what I'd like you to do is take your turn, get the car nice and straight, add the gas, and then change.
Well, I'm just going to slow you down there for a minute.
Because I'm telling you what to do, aren't I? Can't I tell you what to do to help
Sorry?
you? Can't I tell you what to do to help you?
So what would have been a good question on the price of that turning there? Where you knew there was going to be a gear change involved at some point.
Oh, well, I was hoping that because we'd done it and we
Oh, right.
questioned it, you wouldn't do it. So what I should have said to you, so what are you going to do when you take the turn this time, Tony?
When are you going to change gear?
And
Would
when
that
are you
make
gonna
more
cha-
sense?
And when are you going to change gear?
Yeah? Would that have helped?
It would have done, because then you're going to tell me when the car's straight.
You hope.
Okay. See, there's my old-fashioned mum coming in. I'm helping you before you need...
And we're going to turn right.
Okay, we're going to turn right at the end. So this time, Tony, what are you going to do that's different? When are you going to change gear?
When the car is straight.
When the car is straight. Okay, good. No, you can't. Stop.
Okay.
So,
She was going really slow.
she was going... Okay, we'll take the turn when it's safe to do so and we discuss that.
Should I go there?
No? Okay,
Straight.
so
And then change gear.
that's much better. Look at the difference in control. Yes, but we are going to pull over and stop when it's safe to do so. Well done. Okay, let's talk. So the turn, excellent, so much better. Did you notice a difference
Yeah.
when you waited till it was nice and
Yeah.
straight before you changed gear?
Yeah, easier.
It was a lot easier,
Yeah, just bad habits I picked up from my wife, I think.
and it was in control, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
it was much nicer. But let's talk about taking the turn.
Yeah.
Okay, you waited a long time, which was really good. You had really good judgment, and then I think, what did you do?
I thought I had plenty of room to go in front of that car coming from the left.
So how do you know you so what made you think you had plenty of room for coming for the car on the left? So can you remember what we're supposed to be able to do before we make the decision to turn?
Yeah, I reckon I could have walked from one curb to the other.
Well, I couldn't have walked from one curb to the other. I'd have had to sprint. I'd have had to jog that. But then I do have little legs. But I would definitely have to jog that then. So you did a lovely judgment of waiting for all the cars, because the car on the right didn't really know what they were doing. They hadn't told us what they were doing, whether they were going to move off or park. And you had cars coming to the left, and then you saw that the car turned from the left, didn't it? Came into the road. That's when you could have taken the turn. So you waited till the car was really close, and then thought, oh, I can take the turn because
So
it's
I went
going
in front
slow.
of I was trying to go in front of a car coming from where?
From your left.
Yeah, I could have walked from one curb to the other there.
Do you really think you could?
Yeah.
What
no
made
problem.
you say... Really?
Yeah.
You got a very fast walk.
No, normal walk.
Normal walk.
Yeah.
So, well, you might have got to one side. I don't think you'd have got back again.
No, I wouldn't have gone back again.
No, you've got to be able to get to the curb and back, haven't you?
Is listening a skill?
Yes, and I'm not listening to you, am I? So, so you kept saying you could get to the curb. You did say get to the curb and back, though, didn't
No,
you?
I said I could walk from one curb to the other. No problem.
I thought you said I'm back, but there you go. So, could you have walked to the one curb and back before you took the turn?
Not
Before
back,
the car
no.
reached you,
No.
not back. So, by taking the turn then, what would you have forced the car to do? The other car to do?
He would have swore at me or swerved or
He would
hit me.
have done, couldn't he? He'd have had to swerve, do an emergency stop, or potentially hit you, didn't he?
Yeah.
So was that a good time to turn?
No.
So you'd waited patiently all that time. So what made you turn then? Was it because you thought you'd waited too long?
Yeah. I didn't want to get done for what's that called? Begins with H.
What's that?
When you drive like another woman.
You mean hesitating?
Oh, that's the one. Yeah.
Hesitating.
Yeah.
No, hesitating. You wouldn't have got told I was hesitating there, would you? There's a difference between hesitating and being safe, isn't there?
Oh, I don't know, these examiners.
So was that safe to take the turn then, in all honesty?
Probably not.
Probably not. So would that be classified as hesitating then, if you'd have just let them go by?
Depends on the examiner, I suppose.
No, it doesn't depend on the examiner,
Yeah.
because you wouldn't be asked. Hesitating is more where you've got a clear road and you keep making the decision, should I go, should I stop, should I go? And that's when it's hesitating.
Yeah, but
when you should go.
but my test's on a Tuesday. Nobody ever passed on a Tuesday.
Why don't they pass on a Tuesday?
Don't know, that's what I've heard.
Well, I think you've heard all sorts of funny tales,
Yeah.
because I don't think that applies. It doesn't really make any difference what day you take your test on. Okay, so I think you need to take no notice of that gossip. So should we give that a go again?
Yeah,
Yeah?
give what a go.
Driving and turning right.
And turning left.
I'm going to take the next left, Tony. Good, well done.
Next left.
I want you to take the next left.
Piccadilly Circus down there.
It is. You're doing very well, Tony. Well done. Nice use of mirrors. Observation. Good.
Can't see very well coming around there, can you?
No, why can't you see very well coming around there?
Because of the bend in the vehicles. Is it okay to look down the side of the vehicles?
Yes. So, if you're coming round here, it's a blind bend, isn't it? So, the vehicle's on the right.
And we're going to turn right.
We're going to turn right at the end. Now this is very busy.
I could go there. Okay to give it a bit of a push on it.
It was okay to give it a bit of push, yes. Well done.
Lots of power in this car, isn't it? And turning left.
So we're going to take the next left.
So was that better?
Much better. Much, much better. You waited, didn't you, till there was an appropriate gap.
Yeah, I imagine myself walking across there and walking back.
Walking back was much better. So why was that junction so difficult to know when to turn?
Don't it's like being it was like coming out of a junction in the middle of London.
Well, it was very busy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So when it was clear one way, it's not the next,
Yeah.
and vice versa. So that's what makes it so difficult.
I made eye contact with her. She was going to go, wasn't she?
She didn't go, did she?
No, I
Good
saw,
job.
saw her moving.
Saw her moving. Well, maybe she wasn't.
But then she looked at me and she stopped.
Do you think that's why she stopped, or do you think she stopped because she saw you coming around the corner then? She thought the road was clear.
Yeah, but I knew she'd seen me because I had the eye contact.
But if you had the eye contact, what could that refer to her to do?
Sorry?
If you have eye contact with another driver, what could you be implying they could do?
So sure, what do you mean?
So it could go both ways, couldn't it? It could mean that you could be telling them that they could go. So is it a good idea
I'm going to turn left once you get past this bike.
Don't get past the bike, you're going to
No.
wait. No, you're going to wait. Why are you going to wait?
I could have got past him and then made the turning.
Doesn't matter if you could have got past him. Why was that dangerous to get past him and then make the turning? Why would that be dangerous,
I
Tony?
suppose he'd have to slow down a bit, wouldn't he?
He wouldn't just have to slow down, would he? So why would that be dangerous to speed up to get in front of a cyclist and then make a turn? You still haven't. So when we turned right, we're going to pull over on the left in a safe place to do so. So. Okay, all the observations and everything up to you did really well. You did very well at that junction. It was excellent. So what I would like to discuss there with you, Tony, is two things. One, the cyclist first. So as you were coming up and wanted to turn left, there was a cyclist. And you said, I'll get past the cyclist and turn left. So in hindsight, do you think that would have been a good decision?
Not when I got a bit nearer and now.
Why?
You have to get used to these cyclists nowadays. They go a lot quicker, don't they?
Well, yeah, they do go a lot quicker. And what are the dangers of you overtaking a cyclist and then taking the turn to the left?
Probably could have hit me.
He'd have hit you, wouldn't he?
He certainly would have braked, wouldn't he?
So one, he'd have to brake. And what are the dangers of him having to brake really hard, unexpectedly?
Probably go on the handlebars.
So he'd go over his handlebars
Yeah.
and fall off, wouldn't he? And what the other danger of you turning right in front of him? Would he have the chance to stop?
If he did, he wouldn't be too happy, would he?
No. So
Big-
he
big
potentially,
bloke as well, wouldn't he?
he's either going to hit you or you're going to
Yeah.
hit him, one or
Yeah.
the other. So whichever way. What is the safe thing that you should do when you're having a cyclist and you're approaching a junction?
I should have waited behind him.
You should wait behind him,
Just treat him
exactly.
like a car.
Treat him exactly the same as a car.
Yeah.
So you wait behind him, give him priority, let him go, and then you take your turn.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. So then when we take the turn, what did you notice about that road?
Quiet.
Yeah.
Downhill.
Downhill.
Yeah.
Okay, and what does downhill do to the car?
What does downhill do?
So what does going downhill do? So if you're going downhill, what's the word beginning with G that you've got?
G. Oh, gravity.
Gravity. So what does that do to your car? Your driving of
Well,
your
it
car.
means you
What does
brake
that
earlier,
do?
doesn't it?
It means you brake earlier, but what can it make the car do?
Well, go faster if you don't
Go
brake
faster.
earlier.
So when we get to the bottom, the car was going faster. So what did it mean that happened at the junction? So did you brake earlier?
Yeah. I was braking earlier, yeah.
You were braking earlier, were
Yeah.
you? And what was the car doing?
It didn't seem to brake as quickly as it normally does.
It didn't, did it? It seemed to be going faster, didn't it?
Yeah.
So do you think that was potentially because you might have had the clutch down as well?
Am I having a bad day today or what?
Yeah, you could be having a bad day today. So what did that mean at the junction then?
I didn't realise I put the clutch down too early.
So did you stop in time for the junction?
Just about.
Just about.
Yeah.
Well, it was a bit over the line, wasn't it? So what are the dangers of stopping over the line at the junction?
Not safe. People hit me.
People hit you. So you've got the cars approaching you, haven't you?
Yeah.
That you're going to go into the path of that car.
Yeah.
So imagine how you'd feel if that was you and a car shot out the junction like that. How would it make you feel?
Bit nervous.
A A bit nervous, wouldn't it? A bit twitchy.
Yeah.
So what should you have done differently when you came around that road?
I was braking hard.
What else?
I think I might have had the clutch down too early.
So you might have had the clutch down too early. And what does that cause?
Oh, you lose the engine holding the car back.
You do.
Coasting, isn't it?
It's coasting. You lose the natural braking of the engine, don't you? So the engine braking combined with your foot brake actually creates a better slow down, doesn't it? And more in control. So how would you treat that differently then next time?
Put the clutch down later.
Put the clutch down later to come to the stop.
Yeah.
And what about the gears? What could you do to help that as you come round that corner?
I was in second gear.
So you're in second gear. So what could you do as you approach the bottom though? So if you come round in second gear, if you keep braking as you come round, what could you do as you approach the bottom? Would it be good to stop in second gear, or would it be better to reduce your speed to that first gear?
Oh, you mean get first gear and then bring the clutch up afterwards?
Yeah. Would it not be better to do that? And then come to a nice gentle stop?
I'll try that. It doesn't really make any sense to me though.
Doesn't make any sense to you, why not?
So I want to approach, get first gear, bring the clutch up, and then a gentle stop.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
I'll try that.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm open to new ideas.
Okay. Well, should we give it another go?
Yeah.
So would you like any help from me this time, Tony?
No.
You're going to give it a go? Okay.
New one on me, this one is.
Pardon?
It's a new one on me. Roundabout, we're going to turn right.
So at the roundabout, Tony, we're going to turn right.
Third exit.
Third exit. Well done. Okay, Tony, is it a good idea to just look to the right when you're turning right?
And we're going to turn right.
We're going to take the next right.
I had a good look on approach.
You had a good look on approach. So,
I scanned early
you scanned early. So, is it not a good idea to scan again?
and turning right.
We're going to turn right. So if you scan early, Tony, on a roundabout...
I did scan early.
You did scan early, I didn't say you didn't.
Cool, you're picky now.
I am picky today.
Yeah.
So you did scan early, but then when you wanted to turn right, you only looked to the right. Would it not have been a good idea to have another look around, see if any cars were going to come round in front of
Yeah,
you?
you told me look in the direction I'm steering.
I did when
I
you turned
reckon
a corner.
you're just in a fuel saving mode today.
We'll discuss it in a minute. I think you have
We're
to
going to turn right.
I'd like you to take the next right.
And turning right.
And turn right at the end,
I know what to do now.
so you know what to do.
Yeah. First gear. Good job. That didn't feel right to me.
No, it didn't feel right, did it, Tony?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so pedantic.
Sorry?
So, nothing? So, if we turn... So, should we make a turn?
Did I not do what I was meant to do then?
You did do what you meant to do, but I obviously didn't instruct it very clearly, did I? That's the bottom line. I didn't instruct it very clearly. I was
What should I have done
confusing.
then?
So what should you have done is reduce your speed to a walking pace, a car lengths before the turning.
Yeah.
And then if you're a walking pace, then you could have had your brake and your clutch down to come to a gentle stop. So you should have been first gear.
I think I normally roll in the first gear.
You roll into first gear.
Yeah. Well, I don't normally bring the clutch up afterwards until I know the junction is clear.
And then when you want to take the turn.
Sorry?
So, but you need to roll into first gear earlier. You need a good car lengths before the junction, don't you? And at the moment you're doing it right on top of the junction rather than the whole car.
No, I've
length
done it
before.
way back there.
The first?
And brought the clutch back up again.
Oh, you're killing me.
That's what you told me to do.
I know it's what I told you to do, but you're going to tell me now. What should I have told you to do?
Should I just roll in the first gear just as I'm coming up to the junction?
You should, but each time you do that, because you've got the clutch down, you're going straight over the junction line.
No, I went straight over the line
You're
that time
shooting
because
over.
when I brought the clutch up, it moved the car forward.
Okay. So, when you take the turn, when you come down here, you should be braking steadily, and then you should put the clutch down, so roll into first gear, ready to stop at the junction. If it's cleared, then you can continue.
That's what I thought I should do, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So should we try it like that this
So
time?
I don't bring the clutch up after I get in the first gear.
No, just ignore me then.
All right. That's right.
Are we going round to the roundabout?
Turning left.
Oh, we're going to take the next left, Tony. I still haven't discussed that roundabout with you. Okay, so Tony, while we're on this nice straight road, the roundabout that we went round, when you turn right at a roundabout, should you not keep looking all around, keep scanning, and then once you've gone round, take the direction, look in the direction
I
you
thought
want
it was
to go?
best. I thought it was best to look before I got onto the roundabout.
What, to the right?
Yeah.
And then once you've...
No, I looked right ahead, left on approach, and then looked in the direction I was steering.
But shouldn't you rescan in case something comes from the left?
Oh, you want me to start doing this thing I was doing a few weeks ago and looking back on myself? And turning left.
And we're going to turn left. So once you've committed, you've got to look in the direction in which you're going.
So I look back on myself like that.
No, you look in the direction in which you're going.
I reckon you're making this up as you go along.
Probably. No, I'm not.
Turning right.
At the end of the road, we're going to turn right, Tony.
I'm going to roll in the first gear about now, okay?
Okay. Excellent. Well done.
Perfect.
Right, so Tony, can we pull over, please?
Oh, go on the old fuel saving mode again.
We
aren't
are on the fuel saving mode.
we? What's your problem now, woman?
Okay. So you did that beautifully coming up to that junction, rolled into first gear, got your steering wheel prepared to turn right. Then what did you do as you took the turn? Do you have any idea?
No.
No. So when you turn left at a road, you start turning immediately, don't you? If you start turning immediately when you're turning right, what does that potentially mean that's going to happen? Where does the car position itself?
There's a Specsavers incident, you know that?
No, I'm right on this one. So when you turned right there, what should you do first before
How
you...
much money do you want to put on that? You're right. Yeah. And don't forget, we have got video proof that
Probably nothing.
that we can wind it back, yeah?
Didn't you turn right in the path of an oncoming vehicle if there'd been one there?
You know
on the
why I
right hand,
pay you...
on the other side of the road.
You know why I pay you £40 an hour, didn't you? Yeah?
Look,
It's so you watch me all the time, yeah?
I was watching you.
You keep me safe.
I was watching you. So,
Right? So what did I do on approach to the giveaway line?
on the approach, you went from third to first.
Yeah? No problem there, is there? I've been
No.
taught to do that.
Yeah.
What else did I do?
You dry steered on the actual turning,
Didn't actually dry steered.
but you started turning the wheel straight away. Did you need to turn the wheel straight? You don't need to do that, do you, when
I
you
turned
turn
the wheel
right?
fully to the right.
Yeah, which meant that you went onto the other side of the road as you turned, because the car turned too early.
So you did notice that I turned the wheel fully to the right before I
Yes,
stopped?
I did. Which
So-
therefore meant that when you turned, the car turned immediately onto the other side of the road rather than coming across the road and then turning
So
right.
does that mean you were reactive or proactive?
I was reactive, not
Yeah.
proactive.
Yeah. So you were going
Hence
to...
why I pulled you over, because I'm now telling you what you did wrong rather than preparing you and correcting you at the time.
So you were willing to let me nearly die and then pull me over afterwards and tell me why, yeah?
Well, luckily I knew there was nothing coming, so neither of us were going to die. So, yeah.
Yeah,
basically.
so if you saw me... I mean, I managed to get the steering fully turned to the right there.
I know. Would have been great for a turn in the road.
Yeah, so if you saw that, what should you have told me to do?
Turn it back.
When you start to move forward, take the steering back off again. Yeah?
Okay.
And they're completely wrong side of the road, isn't it?
Yeah. Because of it.
I've got a feeling you didn't see it.
No, I did see you doing it. I saw you doing it, and I actually sat there and thought,
And yet you let me emerge with a full right-hand steering on.
yeah, it's really bad, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's really bad.
I mean, I know I'm having a bad day, but it's not going to finish it off and put me in hospital, is it?
No. Yeah, that was really bad. So I let you do it. And well, I thought if I let you make the mistake, you won't do it again.
Sorry?
So if I let you make the mistake, you won't do it again.
Yeah. Lucky there wasn't a 40-ton lorry coming down the road.
But I
wasn't
knew
it?
there wasn't a 40-ton lorry coming
Right.
along the road. I knew there wasn't. So now, when you make a turn into the right, you won't do a full steering lock because you'll now know what it does. Ish. Slight method in my madness, but
Right.
if I put my hands up, in all honesty, I watched you do it knowing that that's going to make you turn too soon, and I should have stopped you doing it, or should have said to you, right, as you move forward you've got to turn straighten the wheel, then turn. But
Right,
you
so
wouldn't need
Right, so let's just let's see where it goes from there, yeah?
okay.
I should have stayed in bed this morning. Turning right.
Okay, Tony, we're going to turn right at the end. So what are you going to do differently this time, turning to the when you turn?
Look good.
Yeah, with your steering, that is.
Oh, what am I going to do to steering?
Yeah,
Oh, keep it straight.
keep it straight, good. But you being you're not going to keep it straight all the way, are you? Because we'll end up going straight over there. Very nicely done, much better.
Yeah, the question wasn't asked very well, was it?
What are you going to do this time? That's different. What should I ask?
Sorry?
What should I ask?
Well, do you want to try and rephrase the question yourself? Or do you want me to give you the answer?
Well, it'd be easier if you gave me the answer, but obviously
course
I've
it
got
would,
to
yeah.
rephrase it.
And we're going to turn left.
And we're going to turn left.
Right. We're at a roll now. I'll make me on my own. Come on. Have a think. How could you have phrased the question better?
Okay, I should have said, so what are you going to do this time at this junction, Tony? If you're going to turn right, when should you start to turn?
There's even an easier way than ask the question about, yeah?
Is there? So are you going to
start turning the wheel to the right.
Oh, that'd be a good one, wouldn't it? When are you going to start turning the wheel to the right? Okay. That'd be a lot easier, wouldn't it?
A little bit. Right, you can relax now.
Can I? Okay, good.
No need to buy you any petrol because you've spent more time parked on the car.
Well, at least I've saved you petrol. What are we doing in here?
Yeah, that car then.
How did it go?
Yeah.
Not too bad. I got most things, I think. So I picked up on a lot. But it's obviously me phrasing how to correct things beforehand, or as you say, being more proactive. So instead of waiting for you to make the mistake that I know you're going to make,
Do you feel
preempt it.
that you assume too much?
What, that you're going to go wrong all the time?
No.
Assume that you know too much.
Well, you saw me make it certain errors.
Yeah.
Let's take the gear change while I'm steering,
Yep.
and you seem to
Oh, as in,
Being-
I know what you mean.
being quite chillaxed that I was going to get it right on the next one. No
Yeah,
problem. Yeah.
assume that I'll get it right next time
Yeah.
when you won't get it right next time, necessarily. Just because you're told once doesn't mean to say you're going to get it right.
Yeah, we'll make an error. Yeah, just because I've got a test coming up doesn't mean to say that you can't ask me to only help there.
No. Okay. Yep, so ask that more often.
Yeah, I might be making errors right up to down my test, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Right up to the hour before my test, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. So what about when you say to ones, do you want any help from me? And they go, no, I'd like to go it on my own, but you know damn well they're not going to be able to do it on their own.
In what way?
Well, like sometimes you might sort of say to somebody, they might have done a manoeuvre once or something, and they'll say, right, how much help would you like from me? They say, I'm going to give it a go, but you know they're not going to get the reference points, you know they're not going to get the observations, or you know they've got, because of the way they did it last time. Can you still let them have a go on their own? And then pick up the faults afterwards if it's safe to do so, obviously, if there's no danger.
Well, it's safe to do so. Let's just say you got a pupil on their second lesson, and you've only just got started getting into second gear.
Yeah.
And you say to them, what would you like to do now? Oh, I'd like to do 70 mile an hour down the dual carriageway. Well, you're not going to say yes to that, are you?
No, of course not.
He's common sense, isn't he?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, because sometimes I find that I say to them, well, shall I prompt you this time? And then if it goes okay, then you try it on your own. Is that okay to do that?
If they ask you to have a go on their own, just stay listening.
Yeah.
If it's a complete disaster, then you want to approach it from a slightly different level.
Okay.
Look, there is help I can give you. Do you want me to give you any help, or?
What about ones that when you say how much help do you want from me, they always say everything, every time? they never say they want to give it a go on their own. They say, I want you to prompt me. Then obviously you do that, but then when they get to the stage where you feel that they could give it a go, then you say, well, why don't you try it on your own? That's okay, is it? As well.
Well, they're going to have to...
Because they've got to at some stage.
Yeah, they've got to move forward at a certain time, haven't they?
Yeah.
You're there to guide them. If they've been giving you all the right answers to the questions.
Yep.
And then you pull them over and you say to them, well, we'll go off and do it again. How much help do you want from me?
Okay.
I want a full talk through again. Well, you're going to have to guide them.
Yeah.
What was the routine you followed the last time? Oh,
Okay.
this, that and the other. Oh, yeah, so that was right. So would you not feel better at the end of this lesson today, going home feeling that you've done at least one circuit on your own without any help from me?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
You're going to get somebody just won't play along with it, with the client-centered learning anyway. They're just going to say, no, just tell me everything.
Yeah.
That's their way of learning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody's got different ways of learning, haven't they?
Yep.
Well, let's give those cameras a pause. The batteries are probably going to go flat anyway.